Hey everyone, welcome back to Tomanek Tutorials. My name is Kim for those of you who don't know me. If you haven't already done so, please check out our video, Start Planning Your Disney Vacation in 2019. Today we're going to go over should you stay on resort or off resort, as well as kind of weighing out the pros and cons of each of those options for you too. Then after that, we're going to go over some of the Walt Disney World resorts that might appeal to you as well to start planning your Disney dream vacation. Hey everyone, welcome back to Should You Stay on Resort or Off Resort? Again, my name is Kim for those of you who don't know me, and we're going to just go over those added benefits now. So to start off, we're going to start with should you stay on resort. There are 6 main benefits to staying on resort, so we're going to go over each of those. The first one is leave the parks, but not the magic. What that means is it refers to that Disney bubble that I said in our first video together. When you leave the parks and you go back to your resort, a lot of the resorts are going to be themed, such as the Art of Animation has the Little Mermaid theme to it. There's also the Pirates of the Caribbean at the Caribbean Beach. And then we also have everything from Cars suites to Lion King suites. There's a little bit of everything for everyone. So you can customize your stay by staying at a resort that has added features that you would absolutely love to check out. The second added benefit that we have is the dining plan. As many of you know, I'm a huge fan of the dining plan. The reason why this is an added benefit for staying on a resort is because then you can book your reservations for dining up to 180 days in advance, but you also get to participate in this dining plan. If you stay off resort, you do not get to participate in the dining plan. The reason why I highly recommend it is because when we travel to Walt Disney World Resorts, we want our entire trip to be paid for as much as possible. So by participating in the dining plan, you get to have that all-inclusive feel, and it's a great feeling to just be able to walk through the parks and have everything paid for, which leads me to our third added benefit of staying on resort, which are the complimentary magic bands. You can get your own magic band regardless if you stay on resort or off resort. If you are staying on resort though, 30 days from your check-in kind of launches everything in motion for you. So they will send you this amazing little box right here. I love getting this box in the mail. It is wonderful. So when you get this box, if you are planning a surprise trip, be sure to not open this in front of your children. So what it is when you open it up, you will see it says, "Let your vacation fun begin," and it has our magic bands in there. So each of these magic bands are personalized to each individual person in your party. So if you're planning a vacation and everybody chooses the same color, that's okay, because you'll be able to customize it on the backside and be able to put their name or maybe a number or a code word or even a nickname on the back of them. And then that way you can know whose is whose. We're going to go ahead and get one of these out of here so you can kind of check it out a little bit further. So your magic band comes in a coil like this, and then on the back side, you're going to be able to pull this strap apart, and then there's your magic band. You're going to be able to just put this right on your wrist, just like your watch, and then you're going to be able to travel through the parks with it just like that. Or you can take the centerpiece out. I like to call them pucks. You can take the puck out and you can insert it into another keychain. Some of the keychain pucks look like this, so you can just take the inside out and pop it into here. Take a screwdriver to this piece here and this piece here, and then you'll be able to take out your puck and insert it into whatever designed one you like. There are many added benefits to the magic band, such as when you're walking into the parks, you actually scan your magic band and your tickets will be right on here. So your daily tickets are already loaded on here, so you have nothing to worry about. You can also scan your magic band if you're participating in the dining plan too. So as you are eating for the day, they will just take their mobile device and scan your magic band that way, and you'll be able to pay for it right on the spot. You can also, as you're shopping through the stores, you can charge back to your rooms with your magic band as well. Now, the magic bands that you get online that are customizable for your trip in Walt Disney World's website, there's a few different colors, so you can customize them again to each personality. We typically all get different colors, but you can, again, get all the same color if you'd like and customize the backs too. They also sell more character enhanced ones as well. Those ones you can't unfortunately link right now to your Disney vacation through Walt Disney World's website as you're building your vacation. But if you wanted to, you can go ahead and purchase one of those more customized magic bands, such as the princess ones or Star Wars or whatever you want. And then they can go and attach that to your package by calling either Walt Disney World's phone lines, or when you check in, you can just have them link it to your account that way as well. The last thing with magic bands that I have for you is if you are traveling by flight to Orlando International Airport, you will want to carry your magic bands in your carry-on, not your checked luggage. The reason for that being is once you get off at Orlando International Airport, you're going to go down to where they have the Disney's Magical Express. And for me, this is where my entire Disney trip really starts for me because I get to scan my magic band for the first time. And when you see that little Mickey sign light up, you really feel like you're in the magic officially. So then from there, we get on Disney's Magical Express, and that is actually our fourth added benefit. Disney's Magical Express is one of my personal favorite complimentary services that Disney does so right. So again, when you get off at Orlando International Airport, you're going to get on this Magical Express bus, and it's going to take you directly to your resort. From your resort, you then can use the busing systems to get to and from the parks as well. So instead of driving, we like to fly in and then use this Magical Express, because then we don't have to drive anywhere. We don't have to worry about where the maps are. We don't have to worry about which way we're supposed to go or which way we're supposed to turn. Somebody else is handling all of that, and I absolutely feel like I'm on a vacation, and it is wonderful. Next up is the fifth added benefit. This is the early access to FastPass Plus. What that means is that instead of staying off resort, where you get to do your FastPass Plus options 30 days in advance, if you stay on resort, you actually get to do your FastPass Plus options 60 days in advance. The reason why that is such a huge advantage is because there are those rides that are really high traffic rides that are going to be super hard to get into, such as Pandora's Flight of Passage. It's huge, it's super hard to get into, so that having that 60 days instead of just the 30 days to be able to get into that ride. Another one is the new Slinky Dogs Express. That one is really, really popular. And I mean, there's several consistent ones across the board, such as the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is hard to get into sometimes, and it just depends on what days you're going and what parks you're going to. And that leads me to the sixth benefit that we have today for you as well for staying on a resort, which is Disney's Extra Magic Hours. What that is you can purchase an extra added ticket and you can stay longer at one of the parks. They do this one park per day, so you have to kind of watch and see which ones they do it on to make sure you have the tickets to go. You're an exclusive party basically going to the parks, and so it's a limited traffic count. If you really want to be able to see a lot more in your experience, this is a great way to be able to travel through the parks and not be so crowded. Staying on resort for me is a must because, again, it is the leave the parks, not the magic feel. I continuously talk about that Disney bubble that they have. And again, what that means is that Disney has incorporated their spirit into every single piece of every resort and hotel. They've really thought about every single detail, and you can really see it as you go through the different resorts. It's amazing. I will say that the biggest con that most people say about staying on resort is, of course, price. So the experience does come with a cost, so keep that in mind. So if you are trying to stay on a budget, this might not be the best option for you. And that is where we kind of flip and then we say staying off resort is a better option for you. Know that if you're staying off resort, there are so many different options for you. There are some specific hotels that Disney does recommend that are so close to the magic as well. Just remember to double check to see if the amenities that the hotel has to offer, they may have a shuttle that goes directly to Disney World that you don't have to drive. Next up, we're going to go over to Disney's website again. We're just going to check out a couple of those really themed character resorts and hotels that are going to be available for you. We're also going to check out some off-resort options as well that Disney recommends and the different amenities they may have too. Welcome back, everyone, to our favorite Disney website. We have our disneyworld.disney.go.com loaded here. If you haven't already done so, please feel free to go ahead and log in so that way you can see all the extra amenities here. So again, this is going to be just a brief overview about the different story rooms or character-themed rooms that they have to offer. Then we're going to go over some hotels as well that Disney recommends that are technically off-resort, but still part of the magic. So to start things off, we're going to go ahead and check out those different character-themed or story rooms that we were talking about earlier. So the first step we're going to do is go up to places to stay. And as we remember, we have the different options here for different resort hotels or villas. Again, these are categorized by price point, and the higher the price, the more accommodating the resort may be. We're going to go ahead and select through moderate resort hotels. And then to find those different character or story rooms, we're going to select a few options on our filter. So go ahead and scroll down. And where it says resort category, click through that. We're going to go ahead and unselect the moderate resort hotels. That way it will show us all of the different resort hotels that it has to offer. And then next we're going to go ahead and select resort characteristics. And we want to select as Disney story rooms. And again, this is sorted by Disney Picks. I always go to price low to high. And then if we scroll down, you can see that there's 3 different options that we have here. So Disney's Art of Animation, technically this falls within the Value Resort category. And then we also have Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, which is a moderate resort, and Disney's Port Orleans Resort Riverside, which is also a moderate resort. So it looks as though there's only 3 options for you, but the kicker here is that Disney's Art of Animation Resort is actually hidden with all of these extra really amazing story rooms. So we're going to go ahead and check that out next. So let's go ahead and click through this and check out the different options we have. So there's 2 main ways to check out the different rooms that Disney's Art of Animation has. So if you scroll down, you will see the different suites that it has available. And you can click through these photos here, and then you can toggle back and forth between the different suites. Or if you scroll up, you can also just select the view gallery here. Go ahead and select rooms. And then you can see the little thumbnails that it gives you, so you can check out the different options you may have. If your family loves cars, don't forget to check out the car suites. These are awesome. Of course, there's the Little Mermaid suites here too. Any little princess would love to stay at those. If we scroll down, we do see the Finding Nemo ones here too. And my favorite is the Lion King family suites. Now that we've checked out the Disney's Art of Animation Resort story rooms, we're going to go back so we can check out the other ones as well. So next up, we have the Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. So now we're going to go ahead and select that view gallery option again. We're going to go to rooms. And then same concept, it's going to give you these little thumbnails so you can check out different rooms. This resort is a perfect example how you can do a story room such as these pirate rooms here. But if you select the other standard option for a room too, it still has those Disney little details in them as well. So with this resort, we're going to check out both of those options so you can get a feel for a non-story room option as well. So let's go and click through our standard view here. So again, this is still at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. This is just not one of their story rooms for the pirate themes. The environment that is staged in these rooms is going to be a little bit more relaxing, calm, luxurious, really welcoming, but still have those hints of Disney here and there. Next up, we're going to check out those pirate themed rooms as well. These are really cool rooms, everything from the tables to the floors. The beds are even created as ships. If you're fans of Pirates of the Caribbean, or if you just have a family who wants to be a pirate when they grow up, this is where you want to be. This themed room is just really, really cool looking. Let's go ahead and go back to our original search so we can check out our last story room themed resort. Go ahead and select back. Next up, we have our Disney's Port Orleans Resort Riverside. We're going to select View Gallery, Rooms, and the same concept here as we saw with the Caribbean Beach Resort. You have a regular style room here, but you also have the story room style here. Let's click through the Royal Guest Room. The Royal Guest Room is going to be inspired by Tiana, the Frog Princess. I love the extra amenities again on the floor here. Everything from the chairs, the throw pillows, the paintings on the wall. Every little detail has been thought about, including the princesses on the walls. Our next step is going to show you if you do choose to stay off resort, what does Disney recommend for you? So let's go and go back up to places to stay. And let's look at these more great accommodations. Hit View All. So here it's going to show us 15 different accommodations for resorts and hotels in the local area around Walt Disney World that Disney recommends. You can go and select through these and just check out the different ones. Like I said, they've got a few different ones here. If anything, if you are to stay off resort, we do recommend also checking out the Holiday Inn in Orlando. As a family, we have stayed at other Holiday Inns and we highly recommend them. Holiday Inns are known to be great customer service. They keep up with their updates and they typically always have a clean resort as well. Next, we're going to head over to hotels.com so we can compare a few different hotels. So here we are at hotels.com. You can use whatever travel booking you are comfortable with. We're just going to check this one here today, but there's so many different ones out there. So compare prices. They have everything from Kayak, there's Expedia, there's Travelocity. And as I mentioned, we're just going to use hotels.com today for an example. You can select your destination, which is Walt Disney World Resort area in Orlando, Florida. Check in, check out dates. Again, toggle through these to find the best budget for you. We have 7-night stay, 1 room, 2 adults, 2 children. Go ahead and hit search. So in our search option here, I have changed a few different of the filters. One of them is that the price low to high. The second one being that we want a resort that's either 3, 4, or 5-star rating. The reason behind that is because any of our Walt Disney World resorts that we were booking on resort would have been at least a 3.5, 4.5 stars in comparison to other resorts, as well as the guest service that they give. So to be a fair search and comparison, we need to be able to filter these results too to make sure that we're seeing the same accommodations here. You can scroll down and check out the different offers that they may have. One of the first ones that I came across that I would be comfortable with, again, booking, which is again at the Holiday Inn. This one here is the Club Vacations at Orange Lake Resort. This one is in Kissimmee, Florida. It says it's 4.7 miles to Walt Disney World Resort area. Let's go ahead and click through that one. So we do see that the nightly price per room is $93, which is a really great offer. So if we scroll down, let's look at these accommodations. So they have their main amenities here, the feel at home, as well as top spots nearby. So we are very close to everything from Walt Disney World Resorts and Disney Springs. One of the things that is personally missing for me is that it does not have the free shuttle service listed in the main amenities here. It may still offer free shuttle service as well. You would just want to call ahead to double check and see what kind of resort options they have for shuttle services. But you can also click through all of these different photos and check out the different amenities they have. Again, if you are driving and not flying, this may still be a great option for you at a great price. A little pro tip for you though too, if your family's raving about going on vacation and having a pool or a hot tub, make sure that you call ahead and make sure that the hotel is not going under any kind of refurbishments or reconstruction. Many hotels have to keep up with different updates that they have going on. And unfortunately, those unforeseen circumstances do come up where you get to a hotel and their hot tub is down or they're fixing their pool. So just make sure you call ahead and double check to make sure if they have any planned maintenance that you are aware of that so you can plan your trip accordingly. So instead of this one, we're going to go ahead and search for our Holiday Inn in Orlando that was recommended by Walt Disney World as well on our last page. We're just going to see what kind of amenities that one has to compare to as well. So now we have the Holiday Inn in Orlando. This is within the Disney Springs area, Lake Buena Vista. This one here does have a higher price point, but if we scroll down in our main amenities here, we do now have the free theme park shuttle. So again, if you are flying in, you might have the option to get transportation to your resort and then use this free theme park shuttle as well to get to and from the parks. The nice thing about this resort too is that it is right downtown Disney Springs. So it's a 12-minute walk to Disney Springs. If you're going to book off resort, and especially if it's through a third-party website, make sure that it's a secure website, first of all. Second of all, always make sure to check out the reviews. Make sure that they are credible and recent reviews as well. So just to recap, this is a great option if you want to stay off resort and if you are driving. This is a great option for you. It's right downtown Disney Springs. The room rate at $165 nightly price per room is a little steep still if you are wanting to stay on a budget, because again, we can get some of those value resorts that we saw on Disney's webpage, and you can still stay on resort and get all those added benefits that we talked about earlier. I've seen them anywhere from about $125 up to about $175 starting at for the value resorts. So you really have to price out your different experiences that you expect, as well as what transportation you may have too, and options that you're looking to incorporate in your trip for your dining plan as well. May that be going to the nearest grocery store and picking up groceries, or if you're going to participate solely upon the Disney dining plan. There's so many different options to make your trip exactly what you want it to be. So again, as we're comparing prices, don't forget to go to your places to stay, look at your value resort hotels, or even the view special offers tab too. Because as we select low to high on our filter here, you can see the different prices that they have for accommodations as well. And again, this is just for this select check-in and check-out date, so you can toggle between those dates to find the best rate to fit your family's vacation time. Here we see the Disney's All-Star Music Resort. This rate right here, which is $150.57 average per night, beats out that other accommodations that we saw at the Holiday Inn that was off resort. So again, you can stay on resort at a better rate given the dates that we have selected here. And this rate's only going to be $150.57 average per night versus the $165 at Holiday Inn. And again, you get to stay on resort with all of those added benefits versus staying off resort and trying to kind of pick up the pieces and make it work. So an added pro tip here, if you are traveling and if you're going to stay on resort or off resort, it doesn't matter about that part for right now. What I'm about to tell you is very important. If you are staying at a resort, make sure you put a credit card on file versus a debit card on file for your incidental charges. Incidental charges typically hold anywhere from $1 to $200 on your card per night stay. So keep that in mind, because with debit cards, what can happen is when they turn that rate around and give you that money back, it may take up to 7 to 10 business days, depending on your banking, to get that money that is truly yours back to you. With a credit card, the turnaround rate is just so much faster. So keep that in mind when putting a card on file for your incidental charges, as well as any charges back to the room that you make too. Sometimes there's also a threshold. So if you charge back to the room and if it's getting too close to say $100, it will then reserve the next $100. Then you may have $200 tied up in charges back to your room. Keep in mind they can do that, and they may be able to build on top of those thresholds. So then you have even more of your hard-earned money tied up in incidental charges or charges back to your room, and they have a slow rate of turnovers to get back to you. Again, that turnover rate that I'm talking about is at 7 to 10 business days, and that could really either make or break your trip sometimes depending on how long you're going to be away. So just keep that in mind as a pro tip. Again, put a credit card on file if you can versus a debit card. It's just a really smart move to make. That way your banking is not being messed with. I am here if you guys have any questions about either booking on resort, off resort, or any of the pro tips that I've given you today. I'm also here for you if you have any questions on when you should be booking or any special offers that may be coming out. Thank you so much for joining us today on Tomanek Tutorials. Again, my name is Kim and I appreciate you and thank you for your time. Join us on our next video about the dining plan and the FastPass Plus options you may have as well. Stay tuned because you might just be able to meet my new co-host, Lil Red, aka our daughter, Ella. She's excited to join us on this series as we empower other families. She's going to give us a perspective from a 7-year-old to figure out what you should do for dining options, as well as possibly some of your FastPass Plus options too. Thank you so much for joining us today. Don't forget to hit that share, subscribe, and like this video. Also hit that notification bell too so you'll know when our next video drops. Thanks so much for joining us on Tomanek Tutorials. We'll see you real soon.